One early morning, a carriage suddenly appeared outside the house. The door was thrown open and Lady Catherine de Bold entered. She walked in looking more disagreeable than usual. She didn't answer Elizabeth's greeting.
Miss Bennet, may you give me your company to take a walk in your lovely garden?
Sure.
Okay, let's go. I think you know that I received the most upsetting report 2 days ago. And I was told that you, Miss Elizabeth Bennet, would in a probably way be soon united to my nephew. Suddenly I thought it was a shameful lie. I came here to make my feelings known to you.
If it's impossible, I'm surprised that you took the trouble of coming so far.
Let me be rightly understood. Mr. Darcy is engaged to my daughter, and it was his mother's wish as well as mine, and they have been intended since childhood. And tell me, has my nephew made you an offer of marriage?
Only this, that if it's so, there's no reason that you suppose that he'll make an offer to me.
Listen, they are made for each other. Their birth and their fortune are noble. And what are the plans of a young woman like you, without rank, without money? And who are your parents? Who are your aunts and uncles? I don't have any knowledge of them.
Your nephew's a gentleman, and I'm a gentleman's daughter. And if there's no object to my family to him, there's nothing to you.
Tell me, are you engaged to him?
I'm not.
And will promise that you never will?
I will make no promise of any kind.
Well, I have been insulted in every possible way. I will live here without a goodbye. You don't deserve such attention. A few days later, Mr. Bingley was able to bring Darcy with him to Longbourn. The gentlemen arrived early and Bingley suggested they would all go for a walk. Bingley and Jane went in the front, and Darcy and Lizzie were left alone. They walked on without knowing in what direction. She had been secretly making a hard decision, and perhaps he had been doing the same. Now was the moment to put hers into action.
Mr. Darcy, I am a selfish creature, and in order to relieve my own feelings, I do not care how much I might be wound in yours. I can no longer help thanking you your deep kindness to my sister. Let me thank you in the name of all my family.
If you will thank me, let it be for yourself alone. Your family owes me nothing. Much as I respect them, I believe that I thought only of you. If your feelings are still what they were last April, tell me so at once. My love and wishes are unchanged, but one word from you will silence me on this subject forever.
My feelings have completely changed since that period. I am pleased and grateful to hear your present words.
The happiness that this reply produced on me is greater than I have probably experienced before. I am as warmly as a man who is violently in love can be expected to do. My aunt called me to describe her conversation with you. Her talk taught me to hope as I hardly allowed myself to hope before. I knew enough of your character to be certain that if you had been completely decided against me, you would have admitted to Lady Catherine openly.
Yes, you knew enough of my weakness to speak plainly, to believe that I was able to do that. After criticizing you so shamefully to your face, I could have no fear of criticizing you to your relations.
You said nothing I did not deserve. My parents thought me to be proud and to think with scorn of the rest of the world. If I had not met you, I would still be like that. You taught me an important lesson. You showed me how small were all my claims to please a woman who deserved to be pleased.
I must ask you what you thought of me when we met at Pemberley.
I felt nothing but surprise. My aim then was to show you that I had no bad feelings for you, and I hoped to obtain your forgiveness and lessen your bad opinion of me by letting you see that I was trying to cure my faults. And they were back to the house talking about Mr. Bingley and Jane. The evening passed quietly after that. At night, Elizabeth opened her heart to Jane.
You're joking, Lizzie. Engaged to Mr. Darcy? You shall not deceive me. I know it's impossible.
No, that's true. I'm serious. I speak nothing but the truth.
But you never liked him.
No, that is all forgiven. I do not always love him as I do right now.
But are you certain that you will be happy with him?
Sure, there can be no doubt of that.
Half of the night was spent in the conversation. In the morning, they went out and decided that her father's agreement of the marriage should be asked during this evening. Darcy was going to talk to Mr. Bennet, and Elizabeth kept for herself the duty to ask her mother. Later the evening, Mr. Darcy followed Mr. Bennet to the library. Elizabeth's anxiety was extreme. She was a little relieved when Darcy returned with a smile on his face and said to her to talk to her father.
Lizzie, what are you doing? You are out of your mind? Don't you always hate this man?
Lizzie explained in some confusion her strong feelings for him.
He's rich, you know. You have fine clothes and nice carriage, but will it make you happy?
I'm sure. You don't know what hero is.
She explained all to her father. Her change of feelings, described all his qualities, and made him satisfied with her choice. To complete his favorable opinion, she told him what he had done for Lydia.
Well, Lizzie, if that's the case, this man deserves you.
Her mother thrilled with happiness with the news. Two of her daughters married well, really well. Her father missed every second with his second and favorite daughter very much. That's why he traveled for home to often than anything else could do. Jane and Bingley were living at Derbyshire, at only 30 miles away from Elizabeth's property, from each other's happiness. Miss Bingley was very annoyed by Darcy's marriage, but as she wanted to continue to visit Pemberley, she was forced to be polite to Elizabeth. As for Georgina, Darcy's little sister, Pemberley was her home now, and the sisterly love that grew between her and Elizabeth was exactly what Darcy had hoped to see. Lady Catherine was most angry at their wedding and expressed that in a letter so insulting that for a time all friendly connections were ended. Their Collinses removed to Lucas Lodge when Elizabeth persuaded her husband to offer to end the quarrel. With the Gardiners, they had always the warmest relationship. Darcy and Elizabeth really loved them, and they both felt most grateful towards the people who, by bringing her to Derbyshire, had been the means of uniting them.
There was an old farmer who lived on a...
Whoa.
Their feet in the water, their hands on their marbles and playthings, and at 4:30 there came a young lady. She looked like a pretty young creature. She sat on the grass, she pulled up her dress and she showed them her ruffles and laces and white puppy dove. She said she was learning a new way to bring up her children so they would not spit, while the boys in the barnyard were shoveling refuse and litter from yesterday's
company to take
a walk in your
Já para porque é Prejudice,
down by the dock, he looked like a man with a sizable hole in the country.
Por que você...
If he asked her politely, she'd show him her little pet dog who was subject to fits.
Não, Diego, arruma. Tá pra cima. Aí eu tô aparecendo aí.
And then she bent over and sucked out his candy so tasty, made a butterscotch. And then he spread whipped cream all over her cookies that she had left out on her shelf. If you think this is dirty, you can go yourself.
Pá, Rodrigo.